So I know it seems a little bit random that I'm talking about Honda when I drive a Hyundai, but if you guys are into the in-cars or anything kind of in this realm, I think that it was interesting to talk about and learn about Honda's story. So nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump into it. The story of Honda starts like a lot of these. Tsuchiro Honda was born in Japan, small town in Japan, and he really got interested in cars and anything that moved pretty early on. Really, it was boats that were the intriguing thing. Because he lived near a harbor and he saw them come in all the time, and it intrigued him about how those engines work. And so he just got this passion, this dream about learning how they worked and ultimately maybe building his own car. And so natural progression, he started working in a repair shop, which cliche Karate Kid incoming moment where he worked in the shop for about a year and the mechanic would not let him touch any cars. He was there to clean and help around the shop, and that was it. Honda really started to gain some trust, and he started to really learn how to do some things under the hood. And so he ended up opening his own shop in a different town, and he quickly became the guy who knew what the heck he was doing. Really after that, he started reinventing himself because he wanted to really get into building engines, and he started building piston rings. And he really perfected a piston ring that ultimately ended up going into, nonetheless, Toyota cars. So it was cool to see a crossover between those two. Sadly, the story shifts, but he adapted really well. Because of World War II, he was commissioned to actually start building airplane propellers on top of his piston rings. But once the war was over, nobody's really buying cars as much. And so he had to kind of reinvent himself, and he ultimately ended up really leaning into motorcycles. But started off as just motorized bicycles, and ultimately we know the story with that. Honda motorcycles became really large market share of the Japanese market, and then on top of that really dominated the US market, where a lot of people wouldn't even look at bikes before Hondas really came on the scene. We all know the story doesn't end there with motorcycles. Honda had that dream of building cars, and he brought it to fruition, him as the company and himself. The first engines for the early Hondas could have possibly been air-cooled engines. So they ended up shifting to a water-cooled engine. That first engine was called the Compound Vortex Controlled Combustion Engine. And some people say that the acronym CVCC was sort of the catalyst for the first car that really was their popular car, the Civic. And nonetheless, as much as we know about it, as much as we love it, and honestly, as much as we love to hate it sometimes, it's undeniable that that car was just so special, and it's still special to this day. And if you guys are into Corvettes, check this one out. If you guys are into why I don't like modifying cars or why I don't want to have a large car collection, check these out, and look forward to catching you guys on the next one.